Your room matched my lipstick.
What's going on?
What's going on? Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Minnesota, Money Boss players, yes. Welcome to Live App.
That's what it is. I'm here. I'm here for it, you know?
Yeah, so we got a lot to talk about. You know where it's gonna end up, but I kind of want to get even more familiar with you. I was just telling everybody that for the past year and a half we've been down the rabbit hole, and I shout out to Hocus Pocus. That's how.
Yo, child, we got to be careful on this app. So they really.
No, I know. No, we're gonna talk about your career. I'm just saying how we met each other. You know what I'm saying? Where it wasn't in the music industry, and I was just paying homage to you that I was able to share space with you for like almost a year and a half, and we wasn't talking about music. I mean, we talked about battles every now and then, but it's mostly about enlightening and educating and how to move in this world.
Hell yeah, you know what I'm saying? The people get a misconception that because you hood, you ain't supposed to be smart. You're supposed to deal with dumb shit all day because you hood, like the hood is synonymous with dumb. But that's not what it is, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, even during the era, at the height of the epidemic, a nigga was still reading his books and shit, even when a nigga was out there in them streets like that, So, that's it, y'all,
Yes, but since this is Live at Radio, tonight our discussion is gonna be different than what we normally have. We're gonna be talking about music, hip hop. We're gonna be talking about how iconic you are and legendary to this game.
Thank you.
So yes, so I'm reading a lot of things on you, and I'm gonna keep it to the point. How influential was Showbiz? Who is Showbiz, and how influential he was to your career?
Showbiz is Showbiz from Showbiz and AG, and you'll never get him to do an interview. I wish that he would go on like Vlad, but that's not Show. Me and Show is. I went to high school with his best friend, a guy named Kamada from Forest Projects. Like, I knew Fat Joe and them when niggas was 15 years old. You know what I'm saying? Way before music. Like, the first time I ever saw Fat Joe was on Bullshit Time when he was a child. When we were all children and didn't know we were children in the 80s. And Showbiz took me on my first robbery. We was 14 years old. And that's no braggadocious shit, but I would say my wild years was from 14 to 19. You know what I'm saying? And then Show got into music, I got into music, different sides of town because I'm from Soundview and they all from Forest Projects. And we just reconnected in the music and we've been tight ever since. You know what I'm saying? And Show, for me, like, they took the music programs out of the schools in the 70s. So, we're like musicians that don't know how to play an instrument. So when I came and I had got with Show, when I first met up with him and a guy named Baby J from the Bronx, when I had got with him, he was like, yo, Mark, man, you sampling the records wrong. And he opened me up to like chopping. And I'm not going to say, he really introduced me to chopping, and it's just like master, teacher, student goes crazy.
Yes. So let me ask you, did he deal with a lot with piano? Because it seems like you like the keys a lot. I hear you talk about your production setup and your equipment, and it feels like you appreciate the sound of the keys, the piano sound, or is it you use those keys to make different sounds? You layer and stuff. So did he teach you that?
Nah, actually, I'm on him, Buck Wild, Pete Rock, Large Professor. All of those guys are MPC guys. You ever see the square beat machine where people are playing the pads? And I'm a keyboard sampler. Like, I started off on something called the EPS 16 Plus, and then when the EPS 16 upgraded before the company disappeared forever, it turned to the ASR 10. So the ASR 10 is what Pharrell uses. It's what Kanye uses. It's what Timbaland uses. Like, RZA uses it. So it's like certain niggas that fuck with the ASR 10. It's a keyboard sampler, which is behind me. You see my setup is like Hold on. There it is. There's a piece of it. That black keyboard, that's the ASR 10, you know? So, yeah. So, you know, it's an old machine. And I had recently did something with my...
You still have it set up to a CD player, or you moved on to the MP3?
Straight crackhead shit. And let me tell you something. I had did, there's a producer named Cover from the Bronx, from Man Cover. He invited me down and he had me with mad young producers. And one of the young producers was like, yo, why you use that old gear? And I was like, because the music is still in the correct frequencies coming from the old, it's an analog machine. I was like, the digital frequencies we listening to music on, we're not getting the full effect of music anymore. So it's like, when was the last time you listened to a song and got goosebumps from it?
Yes. So does it take away from the 808 Kanye be talking about?
Say that again?
Does it give you a different frequency like the 808 Kanye was referring to in Drink Champs?
Yeah, hell yeah. Hell yeah. It's an analog machine. So it's like, nah, not that, yo, listen, and people are going to laugh at me. Hold on. This is what I do my beats on.
You said, really, Manny? You still got floppy disk? Wow. Oh my God! Wait, hold up. You didn't convert them to MP3 and none of that yet?
I mean, I'm gonna upgrade my setup, but the whole thing, the whole thing, once again with the music is, I like the analog sound. You get less feeling from a digital sound. So that's why I would tell all producers, we need to go back to analog. Like everything that's digital isn't good. You know, let
me ask you something. And being such a music icon, you know, do you feel like today's drill rap is what is today, like how disco was in the 70s? Because a lot of people in the R&B world didn't like it. And this, you know, they said it took the soul out, and then disco reigned for like a short while, and then it went back to R&B, and then the emergence of hip hop. So do you feel like drill or the stuff that we are currently consuming now is equivalent to disco then?
If I had to roundabout tell you how I feel about drill music, I would say crack got grandchildren. There's no, you know what I'm saying? Like every generation loses code. You know, when we came out in the 80s, we lost code. It went from kingpins to micro kingpins to, how can I put it? Thugging in the 90s to crack got grandchildren. These niggas don't even, we dealing with a whole group of people that never ate real food in their life. And their music sounds like, to me, like it's some of it I like. I could hum some of the shit. I don't really listen to radio because it bothers me to listen to the same 12 songs 24 hours a day. But like it's some of it is good, but I would say 10% is good, 90% is terrible. And when I say good, I mean good, like not excellent. I mean good under excellent. So you know, that's it. That's what it is. You know. So crack got grandchildren. That's what I hear when I hear the music.
Yes. And it's so crazy to hear something different. And I mean, you produce for Little Kim, Big Pun, like, you know, I couldn't believe, I didn't even know that a lot of that stuff about you, Minnie. Like a lot of that stuff, like getting to know you, I was kind of surprised. Like, Jesus, I mean, I knew you was a producer, and I seen you with Sadat X, and but I didn't know the history. Like I was missing a lot of information about you, and that was so wonderful. So how did you meet Scratch? How do you guys meet each other? Because it seemed like he was another influential person when I'm reading about him and you guys' relationship. So, but I never knew how did you meet. So how do you guys meet each other?
The Scratch that I know is Scratch from the Bronx. Somebody said, "Minnie, you got to go." Oh, Cookie, what's up, man? Cookie is the home team. We got to interview Cookie, Cha-Cha. I want you to tune in. You Tiger 17445. You got to tune in with her because she's the nurse that when this shit first happened, she went viral. She was the first one to ever step out the lines and be like, nah, these niggas is lying. So, you know, she that deal. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, motherfucking Scratch. There was a guy named Scratch from the Bronx, not EPMD's DJ, but Scratch is Peter Guns and them producers. Yes. He took the time out, and I'm just a guy off the street, and I wanted to do music. I'm hungry to do music. He showed me how to work the EPS 16 Plus, which is a lower level of the ASR 10. And from there, that's it, you know?
Yes. So he basically showed you the rope. So that's when you was solo, just Minnesota, or you was always Money Boss Players, or you enter, that's at a time when you enter Money Boss Players.
Well, you know, the thing about the Money Boss Players, you know, as you know, back in the days, everybody had their crews. That was our street name, you know, and that was just the Orange Top crew from the back of Soundview Projects. You know, we was the first young niggas who wasn't under any old niggas, and we had our own thing going. So when
look, and I'm representing. Look, guns down, life up.
Right, that's right. Yep. So when we got into music, believe it or not, we went through a slew of different names before we was like, yo, we looking for all these names. Why we just don't use our street crew name? You know, so first we were the Full Better Crew, like before he do. And then after that, we was the Gutter Snipes, and then we was Larceny Inc., which was me and Tariq. And then we just turned it to our crew, our little crack slinging crew. You know, and that was it, Money Boss Players.
Yes. And you've been making history ever since. So you started out in 94 and 94, 95, and it seems like you did a lot in the industry. You work with Little Kim, but I want to ask you about that too, because you produced a track on her Hardcore album, which was her first album. But I remember hearing you speak in another interview with Kirk, and you saying that you when you first met Puffy, it was like, you know, so I kind of wonder, how did that come about? You know, maybe because it seemed like you was unsuccessful initially, and it seemed like that was still kind of early. But so when did Kim, or were you more cooler with Big than Puff?
Well, I met Biggie before he was on. There was a guy named Matty C. Matty C threw a talent show in the Mars. And at that time, anybody who had some talent, I don't give a fuck if a nigga was from Staten Island, Brooklyn, Queens, niggas kind of knew each other. It was a 6 degree of separation to get on. Like the internet was the village. You had to go down there to battle DMX. DMX and Tariq had battled at Hunter College on 68th Street. So it was like, if you didn't know a nigga directly, you knew of them. So Kim I met through Biggie. And Kim was basically their homegirl, and she was cool, you know? I mean, I don't got nothing bad to say about her. And the only thing I can say is I met her through Big, you know what I'm saying? Because I knew Big before he got on. So even though he had an allegiance to making his money, he still was, you know, cool with me no matter what. Because at that time, everybody was liking my sound. I had a different sound than everybody.
Yeah, and it was different, and I like the way that you talk about music in your interviews. You know, you say you got to feel it in your spine. It's coming from your spine. Yeah. And another artist I would love to talk about, and I feel like we don't talk enough about, is Mos Def, Mr. Yasin Bey. And you say that he made you listen or hear or feel music differently, think outside the box. Yeah. And can you explain how so? What was it about working with Mos Def that was so significant other than everybody else?
Mos is Yasin, Mos, whatever you want to call him, Dante.
Yasin Bey. Mos
is an eclectic person, to say the least, right? And if I could explain Mos Def is once... If everybody's going this way, Mos is going this way. That's all it is with him. And when I didn't, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's my man and shit, but let me tell you how I reconnected with him. I knew Mos for years. And I'm going to tell you, the niggas who connected me to so many people were the Brand Nubian dancers. So I had once again, I had a crack block back in the day. And my partner that I hustle with, Puerto Rican guy named Oye Black, Oye Negro, his first cousin is now DJ Talim. And DJ Talim was one of the brand Nubian dancers. So they were already in the industry. So that gave me the inkling that this could be done. And I wasn't thinking about doing no music until a group out of New York from Harlem named Mob Style did the music. So once I heard them do it at that time, Mob Style being the dude AZ, and it was AZ, Alpo, Rich Porter at that time, my mind was on getting a couple of dollars. I wasn't thinking about no music in the sense that it could be done. But once I heard them do it, it was on and popping from there. So it really was 90. The idea was implanted by Mob Style. And then from then, I got the beat machine. Because, the funny thing was, even when I was a crack dealer, I used to collect records because I was like, I'm going to buy a nice car and I'm going to get a system and I'm going to play some nice music. Because I used to look at niggas playing music like, oh, they don't know they fucking music. So that was Sauce working on gradually pushing a nigga in a certain direction.
And it seems like digging in a place is one of your most satisfying hobbies and things like that. And then we in this technical age, and I hear you say, fuck the machine, is the nigga. It's not the machine, it's the nigga. Can you expound on that for those who may not fully be, I mean, they should, but I want to hear you expound on that.
What that means is if you get Miles Davis, Dizzy Gillespie, Eric Dolphy, Charles Mingus, if you give them an upright bass, they all going to play it differently. What you are comes out in your music. So even with beats, Premier is my man. Large Professor is my man. Showbiz is my man. You give us all the same record, we're going to do something different with it. So it's not the machine, it's the nigga. If I'm an ill nigga, I'm going to do ill shit on the MPC. I'm going to do ill shit on the ASR. It's who you are as a person. You're always looking for that thing that suits your spirit.
Yes. And that's lead me to my next question. I always ask all my guests this, but you can't say the typical answers. Who is your top 5 dead or alive? But you can't say the Mount Rushmore of hip hop.
Of MCs?
Yes.
Oh,
matter of fact, for you being that you are an iconic producer, who is your top 5 producers of all time?
Shit. I would say Q-Tip. I would say Premier for being avant-garde.
Yes.
Pharrell. And on a technicality, Swiss. Because Swiss, when somebody can enter something new into the game, Swiss entered the keyboard for East Coast beats. So that's a bad motherfucker. Timbaland. And listen, Large Professor. It's for me. It's the niggas who did that song that connected with my soul so wholeheartedly. When Large Professor did that shit, I'm looking at the front door. I was going through that at that time. So, ooh, baby. You know what I'm saying? So Large, and I could go on and on. It's just like, hip hop for me is weird because I hate when people do hip hop interviews and they don't speak on real shit. Niggas don't speak on Stetsasonic. Them niggas was way out of line and ahead of their time. Niggas don't speak on the Jungle Brothers. They laid down one of the illest hip hop albums ever. That first album, they touched every genre.
Yes.
They did house music. They did soul. They did rap. Them niggas they went there. Nobody mentions, music is all fucked up because we got other people dictating what's hot.
People don't even mention Q-Tip. The fact you the first person I heard mention Q-Tip, that's how I knew. And that's why I asked that question like that. And for me, Timbaland is the typical, but I let him rock only because of verses. You know what I'm saying? Right. And me paying homage to him and he's undeniable. You know what I'm saying? And he has a long career. But, that's why I'm always asking that question because people usually go to those go-tos. And I appreciate the fact that you said Q-Tip because people don't mention him. They just think he's the artist.
Tip is fire, forever. You know what I'm saying? Yes. It's just like it's just like take a nigga like Pharrell. I really like Pharrell because he took sampling and keyboarding and live instrumentation and mixed it. So he's like Swiss 2.0. That's a bad motherfucker. And he's a song maker. That's what makes him crazy. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
A composer, a true composer. And not for nothing, I feel like hip hop sounds the best with instruments and the DJ in the back.
Right.
Like it gotta have all those things for me. You know, that's what really raises the hairs on my neck when I go see an artist. I want that band. I want that, hear the keyboards and the violins and the drums. I want to hear that shit.
Right. You know what I'm saying? And I think I think music is about to experience a severe change. And when the music experiences this severe change, because you got to think, right? They've been holding good artists and musicians hostage and in prison on YouTube and Instagram for the longest. I see some of the best music I've heard on Instagram and YouTube. So it's like incarceration. Like now we're going to pick you by your numbers. We ain't going to pick you by that God-given talent. And that's whack. Like it's so many dope. Like even, the nigga Jim Jones said it. Nigga Jim Jones said this. They pick niggas on numbers, and that don't mean nothing. Nigga, you could buy some numbers. So we sat.
I mean, wasn't it always like that? Like, you know, back in the day with the labels, they used to go to like, you know, the like little concerts or showcases to see who's there for you, if the audience like you. Isn't that kind of like the same thing a little bit?
I mean, yeah, same difference, but that's how they see it. But that's not how you look at it, right? Chaka Khan was platinum in the 70s. Patti LaBelle was platinum in the 70s. What's my girl? Stephanie Mills was platinum in the 70s. But that shit is the real stuff. Luther Vandross, multi-platinum in the 70s. Michael Jackson and Jackson 5, platinum in the 70s. You know what I'm saying? So
diamond.
At that time, we had some hold over our music. And now, you know what I'm saying? It's real garbage bag shit going on now. It's cold-blooded garbage. You know what I'm saying? So and I'm not against young niggas doing music. I'm against whack niggas doing music. Because out of all the trap niggas, you got your consistent 2 niggas that make fire every time. And then you got your 780 niggas that make cold-blooded garbage. And then they play so much that garbage becomes good. Anita Baker, platinum. When she was with, what's Anita Baker's first group? Oh my God. Before they put her on Chapter 8, her first song, when they let her get 4 bars and she went, wow. You know what I'm saying? So you just shit like that.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy, you know, but I feel like it's coming around. That's another reason why I give Swiss his flowers, because, you know, he's making motherfuckers respect hip hop again. Like, you know what I'm saying? By showing people what they miss, you know what I'm saying? Because even though New Yorkers knew who Locks are, and, you know, some people around the world, but a lot of people didn't. And don't understand everything behind it, like the Clue mixtapes and all those different things. And even with a 50 Cent, a lot of people is not familiar with the mixtape 50 or the mixtape Nicki.
Right.
And I felt like she was harder, you know what I'm saying? Then these people blow in the stratosphere, and that's where the masses really get to the introduction, not the motherfuckers who really got their ears to the streets, you know. So who do you feel like was responsible for that change? Because I feel like it's Soulja Boy. What about you? What you think?
Hold on, which change are you referring to? Because there was a change in the 90s that happened before the next change. Because when we were in the streets, 1992, every goon, every killer, every gangster in the street was waiting for Leaders of the New School, Main Source, De La Soul, and Tribe Called Quest to drop. And it was like the money, something happened where they just took them off the radio and they put all the money in NWA, and that started the nigga shit. You know what I'm saying? The 90s is the initial takeover, because it's like we can't have what they know about the power of music is what musicians sing about, the society becomes. That's it. Society.
You don't feel like it could be the other way sometimes?
No, because in the 80s, nobody gave a fuck about rappers. Rappers was a joke. It was a big joke. So at one time, the street people were the influence for everything. So when you get people that talk about Rich Porter, Alpo, and AZ, they were stars in New York City. All five boroughs. You know, niggas say what they want to say about a guy like Alpo, whatever the case may be, but he was a cultural icon.
He was.
Even then, if you saw, the first person I ever saw with a Mermont was Rich Porter, black and purple, and it was like, you got to think, they was 19, we were 13 and 14. We didn't have no money. We had money from what we went outside and made, but to see them, we thought they were the richest people in the world, and they were reachable. They were in our reach. Probably now, understanding that these was niggas who was only fucking around with 40, 50,000 a week profit net. But to us back then as children, that was Harlem is the stage. And what goes on in Harlem, like if I'm from the Bronx, I come through with a new Porsche right now and I ride through Harlem gonna get the credit. Because somebody gonna say, damn man, these Harlem niggas is getting money. You gotta go to Harlem if you about something.
Yes. You gotta walk across that stage a few times.
Yeah.
Get familiar. Then exit stage left before it gets too, thick out there.
Right.
But yeah. Yeah. So to piggyback off your undeniable top 5. Now I'm gonna be a little messy, and I hope you be a good sport about it. But who's your bottom 3 that you feel like should have never produced a track?
I can't say that.
People say it, but since you're producing all right, I'll give you. I'll let you off the hook a little bit. Who's your bottom 3 that you feel like should have never touched the mic as an artist, as a rapper?
The mic?
Touch the mic. Like why? Like why? Like my ears are bleeding. Like, did you ever frisbee a CD?
Oh man, Master Nasty Soundview nigga, Master Frisbee.
Or a vinyl, because I know you love your vinyls. Have you ever heard of vinyl and tossed that shit? Like, don't tell mom the babysitter's dead.
I'm digging. I'm trying, because this is an odd question. And I don't like to talk bad about. I'm from the Bronx, and it took me so long to learn how to talk positive about every situation. But I'm a hood rat. You know what I'm saying? Not a hood rat, but at one time in my life, I was, community dick, so frisbee, a lot of shit got frisbee. Jesus Christ, my taste is much different, so I'll leave it at that. I'm not gonna do, because I don't like to talk bad about people. I can't do it. And I can't really remember. Yeah, no answer. So I say no answer.
All right. And I just had to ask. I always ask. Some people don't answer because they say the same thing. They want to be politically correct.
No,
okay, we get it.
Right? As a man speaking on a social media platform, I've noticed that they've turned all the men into women, and the men actively speak bad about other men. Like somebody tried to bait me doing an interview about Jim Jones, right? And I was like, I like Jim Jones, like,
I like Jim Jones too.
Yeah,
I was talking shit about the whole Dipset going back to Versus, and that was like a good 3-month run. But I still love you guys. I still bump your shit. But you had to take that L. But it doesn't mean it doesn't erase.
Oh no, I know what they tried to bait me to talk about Jim Jones because I have a particular disdain for gang culture. I think that when New York adopted gang culture, it took us to a place that set us up for federal guidelines. And that's what it was. The motherfucker was like, did you work with him? And I was like, nah, my man does security for him. I would work with him, but my disdain for gang culture is like, I try to stay away from certain things in life that, you know, that's just me. So it's just like, if I know I'm around gangsters, I'm gonna come to the studio with a gun. I don't carry guns. I have no need for one. But just in case anything goes off the chain, I want to be able to fire too. You know what I'm saying? So that was my thing. It wasn't like a disrespect. I love Dipset. I love the Locks, but I try my best to be around positive action at all times, because it only takes a second. It only takes a second, always.
Yes. And, you know, you try to stay on the right path. You graduated from being community dick. And just like you said, you know, you elevating your career.
I graduated. I graduated, but I regressed into it for a while. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, you know, that's a joke, but, you know, I try to be me at all times. So,
well, you gotta behave yourself, you know.
I'm done.
Okay, okay, so and then your disdain for gang culture. What I mean, coming out of the Bronx, it hasn't been a light bulb or a switch that went off to make you go that way. You know, and you looking thinner these days, and you know, I see that you're on your social media as well as down the rabbit hole with you. You know, I'm not trying to talk personal.
Listen, let me tell you something, right? My whole outlook on life is just like, you know, September 14, 2020, I had a brain aneurysm, and my daughter's in the chat now. I got a grown fucking daughter. I look at everything differently, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like I came back to life for this shit, you know? I feel like I came back to life for this shit, y'all. And I can't be negative on any level. I'm still healing, but I can't be negative on any level. You know, I have an internal injury that I'm healing from. And I already was a nigga that if a nigga on earth tell you he got beef with me or he don't like Minnesota, he's a sucker. And that's why. Because I never hinder niggas' money. I don't hate niggas. When I was in the street, I never hated on niggas. I was always giving. I've never been a person that's like, oh, that nigga got the new 2009 BMW. I don't like him. That's just not my energy. My energy never been, oh, that nigga got them hot beats. Fuck him. Or I'm going to steal his beat. I gotta look in the mirror and be okay with my existence. I can't do no fuck shit. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, just who you are as a person. I try to transcend that in every aspect of life. Music, life. I'm just, you know what I'm saying? So, no, that's it. You know?
No, and it is great to see your transformation. And what I appreciate you the most is how you give the knowledge, and it's like you do the research for the people and put them onto game. You know, Hov did that, so hopefully you don't have to go through that type situation. You know what I'm saying? To put them in a better position. So where did you get that from? Because it's more to it than just waking up from an aneurysm. Because some people, you know, probably go vacation. Some people, you know, want to see the world and do things that they never did before. And not saying that you never did those things, but what made you want to give back to the people in that way, so to speak?
You know what? My father got murdered when I was 13. And my mother is like, was on the buses in Howard Beach. And my mother was a Panther. She's an ex-Panther. And she also went through her bout with drugs, which was heroin, when she was a child. She had me at 13 years old. And my mother was always conscious. And when my mother didn't raise me, by the way. I was raised by my aunt and my grandmother. But thank God for the men in my family that I was lucky to always be around. But my father was a dangerous Fort Greene nigga, and I knew him through prison. Like, I got these pictures probably up on my Instagram with my father, and all of them pictures was with me and him in jail. Those are all jail visits for Black Solidarity Day and so on and so forth. But my mother was conscious. And when my father got murdered and she saw me coming into age, she said, oh man, I got to remember it exactly. She said, your father may have gotten murdered. She said, your father may be dead and I can't make you no man, but I'm going to give you something the white man will never be able to take from you, and that's culture. And she started taking me, and even now, at this time, it's on and popping. I'm hustling and all that. But I always had the promise to my mother, come with me when I call you. And she would call me once a month, once every 2 months. And she would take me to this place in Brooklyn called the Slave Theater on Fulton Avenue. And I went in there, and it was Rabbit Hole Plus. It was Brother Barashango. I'm talking about, I'm right here. They on stage. Phil Valentine. Queen Afua, all of those kind of people. And I'm trying to think of the professor from Tooele, Mississippi, because he gave one of the greatest speeches. Damn, I don't know his name. He was Dr. something. But he's on YouTube debating against Khazarian scholars. So I don't have to say that word. So just seeing that, there was a whole nother side to me where my mother downloaded culture into me, and I liked it. So, the conscious shit is like, because, right now, the hood is synonymous with being stupid. We would have a gun in the waist, book in the back pocket when we was growing up. So that's how we grew up. And it wasn't because you had a gun on you, you had ops, you shoot. It was if a situation arises, you got your strap on, you protect yourself. It wasn't press people, bang, bang. It wasn't like that. You know what I'm saying? So, that was that.
Yes, and hearing your war stories and things like that, a lot of people are not lucky enough to make it out and live the life that you live. So you a Grammy Award winner. Like some of your songs won Grammys.
I'm so much of a hood rat, right? My man had to tell me. He said, "Why you got Grammy nominated?" Because we got nominated for the New Danger because I did 7 on Mos Def's New Danger album. He was like, "Why you got that? You a Grammy winning producer?" I was like, "Fuck you talking about?" He was like, "Nigga, you won a Grammy with Naughty by Nature's second album. You produced on their album." I said, "Oh shit! All right, I'm a Grammy winning producer." So yeah.
Yes, because I'm like, hold up. Yes, you did. I'm about to argue with you. Like, hold up. Yes, you did though. Like, yes, you did. And coming out of Cancel Hill and Soundview, how did you feel? Like, that's somebody's dream right now. You know what I'm saying? How did it feel to know that you was a part of not just a person's song, but how deep or impactful you're a part of the culture? Like, you have iconic songs, many. Like,
I didn't know. I just didn't know. Because for me, just when you love music, at some point in your life, you have to do it. When you love music like that, if you are a person who was, and they tell you the stories about how you used to dance in the crib when certain songs came on, you have to do it. And that was my case. It was just, I got those genetics. And my mother was a jazz singer before she went through the things she went through and falling to heroin.
Yeah, I was about to ask, who would be the top 5 artists your mother would play, or songs that you would hear throughout the house? Top 5 artists.
Well, my mother, when I would go to my mother's house, my mother played jazz music. And she played a lot of disco and jazz music. And, Dina Washington, Nancy Wilson. My mother is a classic. Like, it's a black household where you're going to hear some shit you don't know about.
Rest in peace to Dinah Washington.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So she played that kind of shit. That's probably the digging side. She played the ill shit. My aunt and my grandmother, it was like, Luther Vandross, the regular shit, Stevie Wonder, Michael Jackson, that kind of shit. But my mother is a whole vibe when it comes to music. Like, she's really like, eclectic with music, And
that's where you got it from.
Yeah, definitely. And her father, so it must have been it because my grandfather, like, my family's been in the game now probably about 70 years. Because my grandfather, my mother's grandfather on her mother's side was one of the biggest pimps to come out of Queens. That's terrible. And her grandfather was the first heroin dealer in Queens that fucked with the Genovese crime family. And he ended up putting on a guy named Pops Freeman from Farmers Boulevard, who ran the numbers over there. So anybody from Farmers, you've heard the name of Pops Freeman, and you could probably see his pictures online now on them them pages. But you know, my family was criminal for eons, like is super criminal, you know, and super music.
Yeah, man, my family is similar too with that. You know, you'll be surprised, Minnie. You know, we can't talk about it on IG, but you'll be hella surprised. But yeah, so moving forward, I'm outside because I wanted to spend time on as a producer and just shed light on that because I mean, wow. Oh, before we move on to the next phase of the questioning, out of everybody from Little Kim to I Ain't a Player, Big Pun, to all those different songs that you produce. Can you please tell me at least one favorable moment that you had with one of those iconic, legendary artists and what it took to produce that track?
Think Big with Biggie Smalls, Pudgy, and Lord Tariq. It was ill because Pudgy had Sadat X in the studio. What's the dude? Akinelli. Akinelli had a verse on there, and Sadat X had a verse on Think Big. But the deal was, I was like, yo, Pudge, we ain't doing this song unless you put my man on it. And me and Pudgy was cool, so he was like, all right, Minnie. You know what I'm saying? And then Tariq had already made a buzz for herself, rhyming on mixtapes and shit like that. So, you know, that was what it was with that. You know, but Grand Poobah was like my mentor. He told me to get to the studio late. He fucked my career.
Why? Because you went to the studio late, or?
Nah, just saying, just Poobah. You know, when you coming in and somebody's showing you something, that ends up being your way. So unfortunately, unfortunately, you know, Poobah would just always show up late, and it was always a party. So it was like, I thought that was the way that you handled business. So I would come to meetings late. I probably didn't get signed with Steve Rifkin at Loud Records because we came 2 hours late, and Steve still took the meeting for Money Boss Players. But, you know,
really?
That's what.
Like, there was no urgency? Like, you don't have no urgency for anything? Because 2 hours for a record label, because it's not like it's easy to get a deal like how it is these days. Come on, man.
We gave a fuck, but didn't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? So.
It should have been 2 hours early. Like, how you missed that?
Yeah. So, you know what I'm saying? You know, that was it. You know, that's it. But, that's it.
Yes. So moving forward, outside of being one of the dopest producers out there, you've also been on the artist side as well. So Once Upon a Handshake.
Yeah, Once Upon a Handshake. Once Upon a Handshake. You know, the funny thing is, 80% of that album is 25 years old. You know what I'm saying? Thanks to my man Shotty. Somebody said a Mariah Carey hip hop. Yeah. Thanks to my man Shotty. Shotty was like, yo, give me the songs. Shotty took the songs and put them out. And the response is like, all right, fuck it, I could do this. You know what I'm saying? And then I'm not gonna front. I like the niggas from Buffalo. I like them a lot. You know what I'm saying? I like them a lot. So, you know, it's just like to see.
And they got that boom bap sound too.
And the thing for me, when I create music, it's a hobby to me. I'm not trying to sound like, I don't listen to people. So, and then I feel like you getting your music from the child who was at the jam. As a child, when hip hop was starting, I was in front of the ropes with my little crew, either playing manhunt, playing tag in the park. My old block before I moved to Soundview, Curtis Blow would be outside rhyming on 183rd and Crotona and Prospect. Like, you know, I go to Webster, there was DJ Kusai, DJ Fomalo, and Grandmaster Flash spinning on 5 turntables in front of 1260 Webster Avenue. So it wasn't like we were striving to be it, but it was we playing in the park, and the DJ said it's right there. And I want to say one thing. A shout out to the man who really started hip hop, and a Kool Herc belongs on the Mount Rushmore of rap, but he didn't start it. The guy who started it was Disco King Mario. Hip hop started in sound.
Yes, I say that all the time. So, yes,
he belongs on the Mount Rushmore, but all of these niggas.
No, he does. But to say you know why I say that? that he really isn't. And there's no shade because, like you said, you got to give this man his flowers. But, you know, the city already had that culture. And then you got to look at the jazz and everything these men were sampling, even down to spray doing graffiti. That was already here.
Right.
He was already doing those things.
Right. Right, you know?
Yeah, and we already had party jams and back to school events and, you know, summer cookouts, and we still do that to this day.
Poverty always creates something great because you have to innovate to fit into society. And what, like, you know, and we're not going to go down that rabbit hole, but if you look at what they're doing to us now, like, we can't get reparations, but they're forcing everybody to go do their, you know, your indigenous birthright. So they're forcing us in the law now. So everything they do has another bad outcome for them.
Yeah. And I kind of want to talk to you about that too, because, you know, I know we're not going to, you know, get in deep with it. I just want to touch on it a little bit so people can fully understand outside of production how you really trying to be out here and save humanity. So we understand that it came from your mom and you always had like that revolutionary spirit because that's what you grew up in and things like that. So, but I want to ask you of your experience now. Did you ever feel like you would be, you know, trying to teach the people a better way to live, well, you know, outside of what the government is giving?
You know what? I would say I've been so far ahead of the curve with this shit because I remember, like, a lot of my friends, like, you know, I had to keep this shit to myself for years. Like, my man, X-Man, he's a dude from Soundby, from Saccharin, right? And they called him X because he was the crack dealer who was preaching to everybody. So that's how he got his name X, because he was always walking around with his books in his back pocket. I knew the shit, but I didn't feel comfortable talking about it when I was younger because it's the height of the crack epidemic. We out there getting money. Nobody want to hear that shit. Nigga want to hear $500, $1,000, $2,000 a night. That's what nigga want to hear. They don't want to hear you talking about no liberated shit. So I couldn't talk about it then. And I wasn't comfortable talking about it because at that time, I would have definitely been ousted. Like, yeah, nigga, if you don't get the fuck out of here with that knowledge talk, it's like at that time, the mind state was MC Ren. He said it on the record. He said, I'm not with that black shit, so I ain't trying to hear all that. That was that. Now imagine being years ahead on your shit. You know, that's something that we felt we had to do at that time. But if you was conscious back then, you had to hide it. So now, fast forward, my brother, Mos Def, he's always been conscious. And now this thing,
I love him and Q-Tip, and I want to see Mos Def again. I want him to come out and do more music. I'm pretty sure Q-Tip is doing his thing and they doing their thing, but it's most, you know, it's low key and behind the scenes. Like, don't you miss them in the culture a little bit?
Well, you know what? We got a whole bunch of funding going into dumb shit, and they don't put money into the good shit anymore. So it's benefiting a certain entity of people. You look at the guy from Queens. I don't know if he's from Queens. I mean, he's another one of my favorite MCs, and I didn't know he was a favorite MC. The guy Cannabis.
Yes, can I bust what?
Yo, listen.
Buckingham Palace? That's my favorite joint from him.
Yo, I did not know that nigga was that deep. And when I heard his music, you go to YouTube and listen to Cannabis music, I was like, okay, I know why he was silenced and ousted.
Yes. Yes. He talking about he want to push the earth in front of Halley's Comet. I've got the line in between that. But yes.
So my top 5 MCs is
yes, we can do that. We can do that, but not the Rushmore. No Biggie, Jay-Z, Nas. You shall die.
Some of the greatest niggas I've ever heard in my life. One of them is Black Ice from Philadelphia.
Okay.
Black Thought from Phil, and Black Ice. He was a poet on Def Poetry. Black Thought from the Roots.
Yes.
I kid you not. Like, you know, sometimes people be out here with a mediocre body of work, and I don't know why the works that are out here are good, but that nigga's excellent. Like Black Thought is gone.
Yeah.
What's the nigga that married Illuminati that did it? He was messing with the Illuminati girl that he did an album with Jay-Z. I can't, you know, with the brain aneurysm, sometimes I can't remember shit that's just right there. He did a whole album with Jay-Z on the low about a year and a half ago. Come on, y'all.
Kanye?
No. Jay Electronica.
Oh, okay.
Jay Electronica.
Okay.
So I said Black Ice, Black Thought, Jay Electronica, Mos Def.
Mos Def.
Because
I want to talk to him because I know he's such a dope mind. I just want to tap into it. Him, Q-Tips, you. Like, I feel honored, like, to even have this conversation with you. Yeah, and me dancing to your songs, and I didn't even know it. Like, you know, thinking about festivals and the summertime and ratchet moments and
another nigga that's off grid, crazy dope. Is Talib Kweli and King Los. Like this is it's just when niggas got that talent, they got it. Not to take away from the street top 5, which is Jay-Z, Nas, Biggie, Jada, and what's my man? Oh man, from Texas, Scarface. It's niggas who can speak game. See, when you hear Jadakiss, you hear the nigga that rhymes with game. He got game. Like he understands. You're hearing a nigga who knows how to deal with street situations. And that's what makes them great street MCs. You know what I'm saying? So that's they're top 5 in that arena. You know what I'm saying? But then there's other niggas who's top 5, Common Sense. He's a bad motherfucker. So you got, you know, I hate that top 5 thing because it's more tops. You know what I'm saying? It's just equally, some niggas is going to be better than niggas on some records, and some niggas is going to be like,
I have a dope ass top 5 because you say hustle a lot. You say game, all that good shit, right? Who's your top 5 that had the most hustle in this game?
The hustle? Look, you can see. Yo, listen.
Had the endless hustle.
You know what?
No, they're not necessarily because you got quiet billionaires.
You know what I say? Nah, you can't say that. Jay-Z is fire. Don't do that. People talking shit.
Oh, no. Okay, so I give because, you know, it's not that many, so he can go up there for that.
Because if you want to, see, the thing with Jay is, you got to listen to the line where Jay said something about common sense, and I ain't rhyme like common sense. And what he was saying is, in this game of making money, I'm going to attack this here because it makes sense for me to cater to my street crowd for where I'm going on my mission. Music is what made me great, but my mind and hustling skills is what's going to make me greater. So the number one hustler, I would have to say, is Jay, and then his student after him, Kanye. And then I would say Nas, because you got to look now, right? As Mos Def told me, you say you put your foot on the first stoop, you show them you dope, and then they let you in. And then you're allowed to do real business. So it ain't about now being a dope artist, or it's about conducting business and changing people's lives. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and Nas just came out. This album that just came out. He's given two of the songs that will be NFTs, so people could pay a little as $50 and they'll buy it like stock and to the thing. So he's getting into that, and you know, I guess being groundbreaking on that situation.
I hate NFTs, but I'm going to get into it. If you're a person that don't got no job right now, and you playing around and you ain't graduate and you ain't into the working life, get into crypto. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we all, and when you make your money, you purchase your tangibles. They're going to let the first batch of niggas get rich because they got to use us as bait to bring everybody else in. They got to let niggas buy Bentleys. They got to let niggas buy big houses and put the pictures up and be like, yeah, I made $1 billion off of crypto. Because that's how they're going to lure everybody into that mousetrap called the metaverse.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to tell you.
And people got to not forget to not buy tangibles. Like, people always talk about buying land on the metaverse, but you got real land in real life, though.
Right.
That should, be a priority.
That's my only advice to anybody who's in crypto or Bitcoin or whatever you get into. Purchase your tangibles, because if you don't have your farm, you're going to be a poor man. And you're going to be poor and broke inside of the fake reality.
Yes.
That's not even considerate to be like, I got a few friends. I got a few friends that are not online, and they would never get online because they're not those type of people, right? But is it fair to say, yo, you're not going to be able to make your money unless you come into here? You got people that deal with reality. You got people that don't fuck with phones. Like, it's all, look, right? If you look at Little Hat, Big Hat and them and Long Sideburns, if you look at that group of people, niggas fuck with flip phones. They don't even carry the phones we carry because they know what's up with the electrical sickness. Rarely will you see them with these big, stupid ass phones, these iPhones, these Androids. They don't fuck with it.
Yeah, and people gotta be, pay attention to what's going on. I just like the fact that a lot of people are waking up. We're not gonna, go down that rabbit hole or whatever. We're gonna keep it light in hip hop today. But, only thing that I will say is, I'm glad I was standing, virtually side by side with you, trying to get the information out to the people. You're one of my favorite people that I got to know during this pandemic, and it was so awesome. It's such a pleasure sharing information with you and just trying to wake the people up so they can understand that this life ain't it. I see that, in your past interviews, you talk about how you offer technology and you offer change, but at the same time, this is, I guess, it's obvious this is not the change that would be conducive to humanity as a whole.
Not at all. Not at all.
Yes.
Not at all.
Can you share some light words with it? Just keep it real minimum.
Well, look, right? I'll say this. If we sign up for the things that are going on, these people get another 1,000 years over us. So that means 10 generations down, when there's some motherfuckers running around with big noses and eyes like mine, I signed them up. Our mothers didn't know when they signed us into the system off of our birth certificates. They had no idea. But we know what's going on now. So that's why I say, if you're going to do it and purchase your tangibles, you might have to have a house with a big enough backyard where all your backyard is a farm. You know what I'm saying?
How challenging is it to get your immediate family or your immediate relationships outside of the bloodline, like maybe co-workers or, people who are close to you on the same page as understanding what's going on out here and trying to help them to move forward? How difficult has that been, or has it been?
You know what? Thank goodness my daughters are conscious, so they know what time it is, and my mother is conscious. I got a lot of family members who went and jumped in head first. I got a cousin. This nigga's 38 years old. He has myocarditis. I just sent my aunt all the information, but you know where people are getting myocarditis from now. They want to give the heart is the strongest muscle in the body. This shit got to pump. It got to work for 100 years. So that's what the GMO foods is about, weakening the heart muscle. Because if you're eating foods over and over and over for years, that's not giving you nutrients, vitamins, and minerals, your lifespan is cut right there. This is why we see niggas dropping off at 20, 30, 40 now, just out the loop. Boop.
Yeah, I just lost a good friend of mine, a dear friend, I knew for a very long time. So, shout out to everybody that we lost, directly or indirectly from this thing that we're suffering right now, and keep our head up. Is only could get better, as we go along. And I'm just glad everybody's waking up and actually taking a stand and doing something with their lives to make sure that they're secure in this new world we're up against. Yeah, so I'm not gonna hold you too long, but I got a few more questions and we'll do the wrap up. So I read once where the downloading, you see a lot of new producers, they go online searching for beats and stuff like that. A lot of them is free. Do you feel like that's like a cheat code, and is it totally respectable as a classic producer would?
Let me tell you something, right? And I want to say this, and I hope this shit goes viral on some music shit. I want to say this to all producers. The word is this. Shh. Don't tell a nigga what you sampled. Don't tell a nigga where it came from. And more than likely, that's ours. It's like a nigga run up on you with a gun and take your chain and your watch. That's his. I watched Bob James. And if you know, Bob James is the guy who made I watched him as a professional musician listen to the music and really didn't know, like, oh shit, like niggas is jacking my music. And Bob James is a tier 1 jazz musician. We're chopping, we're doing this. Everybody, all producers, shut the fuck up. And that's yours. You might get caught, you might not. Shut the fuck up and do what it do. All this shit is ours. Take it back. But don't shut the fuck up. To every producer, research that shit you fucking with and keep it under the hat. Shut up. Your man don't need. The only producer I still send and share sampling secrets with is Showbiz and Large Professor. I'll call Large, boom, boom. I'll call Show. I'm sending him shit. As soon as I find the drums, I find something new, I gotta hit my man Showbiz. And cause
that's love right there.
He's not telling niggas nothing. So, the name of the game is shut the fuck up. And Large Professor's the same way. Shh. We don't see. Niggas wouldn't even have known what we was doing. We let niggas know everything, but we know nothing. You couldn't tell me every ticker on the stock market. Niggas still ain't tell us what that shit be going up on CNN. But niggas know. Why y'all niggas gotta know every aspect of our life? Why y'all gotta know every slang? Get the fuck out of here. That's our problem. Fucking shut the fuck up. Shh. Stop.
Don't tell nobody.
Nah, get to it. I got a bunch of weirdo. If I show you I got 10,000 records. I can't even hook my apartment up because I got 10,000 records in here. I'm still buying the wooden chair.
That goes to my next question. Do you have any unreleased tracks, like from Big Pun, or maybe, stuff that you were supposed to give to somebody? They played around with it, but nothing came from it. Maybe Little Kim, maybe Naughty by Nature, maybe Mos Def.
I got one with Biggie. So what I'm doing now is my friend got the technology. He took me rhyming off of Stretchin' Bobito back in like 1992, which was 89.9, because that was another channel to get on. You had to go up to Stretchin' Bobito if you was dope. And since it's old, he's putting those vocals with something that I did with Biggie that's unreleased. Well, it's released. It's on YouTube. It's called White Chalk Part 2. So me and Biggie is going.
But outside of that, you don't have nothing to the word, not even YouTube, nothing.
Unfortunately, no. But I would say I got unreleased tracks from Mos Def. Like me and
Mos. So would you come approach him and be like, "Yo, let's release this. Let's make a thing behind it. Let's campaign this thing."
Somebody said
I want to be in a video too.
Oh, I'm gonna shut up, Shay. I would say this. I got a lot of unreleased shit with Mos Def, and it's in most just leaves music places. We got Chung King Studios. He had me recording we might have 2 or 3 unreleased joints with these famous all black rock and roll musicians. Dr. No, Will Calhoun. That most was dope, man. He introduced me to some fly shit musically, you know? Nigga's a dope person.
Yes, that same Bay. Yes.
Yo, there go DJ Talim.
Look, energy through the screen.
Look, Talim joined. That's Talim. He's one of the men responsible for me being in music, straight up. Me and his cousin was partners in the scene, you know what I'm saying? And Talim and DJ Truth really, they walked me into the music industry. So I always I mentioned him earlier and he joined. That's why I always mention him in interviews. And you can interview him too, because he was one of Brand Nubian's dancers. So I know he was behind the scenes with a lot of shit. He could tell you a lot of shit, because right now, Talim is one of them DJs, you know, when you go to the nice spot in the village and they ain't patting you down and nobody's carrying guns. He DJing those spots, you know, where you could go hear good music all night, you know?
Good. And, you know, I appreciate you, Minnie, for coming on my platform. Absolutely. And so looking for the future, what's next?
Well, look,
what's next? Because
as of right now, I got about 50 new beats, and I'm gonna start shopping them. Because, all right, say for instance, right, this is the mini problem. Jack Harlow hit me, right? And me being me, nigga, I don't know who the fuck Jack Harlow is. So my management, they run the Minnesota Money Boss page, right? So they like, yo, Jack Harlow hit you. I'm like, who the fuck is Jack Harlow? So they like, yo, go look him up all the time, Ty. Go look him up. So come to find out, he's like the next nigga that's coming up, like how Slim Shady came up, and he's nice. I watched some of his shit, and I was like, oh, shit. All right, this nigga's fire. He's definitely a white boy I want to get with. Because when you white and you rhyming, the black community could accept you, but the white community, they instantly try to push you into an Elvis position because you're dope and you're white. And if you know anything about the white mind, that genetic, they've always been incredible writers, not to take away from us, but they're they watch and they know they're very analytical. So they're very dope writers, you know? So the nigga's fire. He turns out to be a fire white boy. But the whole thing is, as a producer, I should have been like, oh shit, Jack Harlow. And me being me, I just don't give a fuck. I'll get to it when I'm ready to get to it. So I'm not rushing. So I got about 50.
Is there a track that you would not do? Like if somebody be like, yo, Minnie, I want you to come produce this track. And, you know, they tell you their idea, concept or whatever. And you be like, nah, I'm not fucking with that. Or it may be the type of person the artist is in real life. Because, you know, just because you're an artist doesn't mean you ain't a piece of shit. You could be a piece of shit and a dope artist at the same time.
First of all, they're going to pay me before I track it out. Somebody said 6ix9ine. If 6ix9ine, listen.
Would you produce a 6ix9ine track?
Yes.
Okay.
Because street codes stem from slavery and the snitch in the house. Like you saw Stephen from Django. That's like the first concept of what snitching is. But right now, you know, black people are so in love with faulty concepts. There's so many concepts that are faulty and it don't make sense. And we love these shits. We're deeply in love with, in the black community, we got mad concepts that don't make no sense. Like, a nigga graduates from college and say, oh, congratulations. But a nigga come home from jail, niggas put money in his pocket, niggas is putting money in his pocket, niggas is coaching him on to be a criminal again. It's all this love for somebody who survived jail, but a person who goes to college doesn't get the same thing for graduating. Where's the $1,000 for the motherfucker who graduated? Where's the bottle popping for a nigga to say, damn, this nigga might be able to make it out of this crusty ass shit?
And the crab legs, the snow crab legs, where that at? With the butter sauce?
Right. You know what I'm saying? So it's so many bullshit concepts, and I had to learn that the hard way. I had to learn that the real hard way. It took a violent upheaval for me to learn that the hood is bullshit. I went through some shit where niggas thought I wasn't right, right? And I had a home invasion. But when I had the home invasion, it was civilians in there. I told the niggas 3 guns under my chin in the hallway. I told the niggas we not going in there. My family is in there. The niggas knocked me in the head and took my keys out my pocket and went in. So when you went in there, you subjected yourself to civilian law. And what's the civilian's recourse? Doot, 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 doot. So that's a whole nother story. That's a whole nother story. But what I learned from that was, you know, me being me, it's niggas that, and I'm gonna keep this brief, but it's niggas that I did real crime with, right? So, you know, niggas thought, you know, I wasn't right for a little while. So I had bumped into some of the top gangsters from my neighborhood in Harlem, and we was partying, you know, on Lenox Avenue, and one of them pulled me in the back room and we talking, and he said, yo, man, you know, this, that, and the third, da-da-da. I just was wondering if he was right. I said, nigga, I was on your first murder with you, right? He said, yeah. I said, you free, ain't you? You know what I'm saying? So it's just shit like that. Like, the hood is so fake. The hood is so fake and fucked up that it don't make no sense. Like, we thrive on all these fake principles. And you got working niggas adhering by street codes. You got bus drivers.
A lot of that shit be mad petty and shit too. Like, you know, you still see people, you know, oh, I don't want to be like how I used to be. Or I even bumped into this one. Oh, you didn't say hi to me. You won't. I didn't even see you. I'm not even.
Look, right. You know the
on it like that. I'm sorry.
You know, it took me so long to, you know, because I'm a funny nigga. I like joking and laughing and shit, right? And it took me so long to retrain. I'm from the Bronx. It took me so long to retrain myself to talk positive about everything. I always look for the light in the situation because we know what the bad is. So I always try to, like, even when we go down the rabbit hole, which I'm getting ready to go over there, Hokuston, I got some new information. You know, and as you know, the agents are in there because it be contentious shit. And every time I talk, what happened, child?
They cut you off or something happens.
You know what I'm saying? Or Clubhouse kicks me out.
Off the stage, yeah.
Clubhouse kicks me out because they don't, you see, if you got a forum or a format where you can talk to 200 to 300 people, what you say out your mouth, it hits those ears and that goes out and they say it out their mouth. You're liberating minds. And now you can liberate minds through the fucking computer. You don't gotta stand on the corner with the Hebrew Israelites and say, read. You know what I'm saying? You put the information out now. One person can liberate 1,000 motherfuckers through talking on a fucking thing. You don't even got to be there, you know? So shit like that. Shit like that.
And that's a fact. Like, and I think that's one of the major keys to why a lot of people are waking up now, because, you know, when you turn on the TV, it's indoctrination city. Like, it's nonstop, all day programming.
You want to know something? I was always conscious, right? But it seemed like my mind took off when I stopped watching TV.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, you look for it, you search for it, you hungry for it, we in the rabbit hole looking for it. And Mike Lowe, what up? That's another one of my guys that do beats. Me and Mike Lowe produce Variables, the one that I got the video for. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Mike Lowe is, man, secret weapon. That's like the other Minnesota. That nigga is crazy with it. But yeah, just to make a long story shorter, it seems like your mind takes off when you cut the TV off. I believe that the TV is making niggas stupid.
Stupid.
You know, alongside.
And you know, it sounds like parakeets, though. Like, you get every sentence, every word verbatim, and it's like, yo, turn that shit off, yo. You sound. You got even the accent of these motherfucking commentators of them. Like, goddamn.
Somebody need to tell Fauci and Bill Gates, yo, bro, we know what you're doing. We know it's an electrical sickness. We know people are getting sick from the radiation and the electricity. Like, cut it out, bro. You know what I'm saying? Somebody need to present the scientific information to them that we fucking know. But that's another. I'm gonna chill because I don't want to get you blocked.
Yeah. So I'm not gonna hold you because I know you're gonna go down the rabbit hole like we do every night at 11. And those that want to be in tune, shout out to Hocus for hosting the rabbit hole. Absolutely. And giving people the safe space to share knowledge and perspective. And it's a dope conversation. It's in Clubhouse. It was moved from IG because fucking Zuckerberg is such a hater.
My guy just joined the chat. Cricket Club Shop. That nigga is like the black Ralph Lauren. His clothing is so fly. And everybody, I just want you to go follow him. Cricket Club.
Okay.
That's Wayne
Dante. Yeah, follow me too. Whoever's following me from this chat, I'll follow you right back. There's a lot going on, and I don't want to press the wrong button and shut this shit down prematurely. Right. So, but like I said, I don't want to hold you from the rabbit hole. I'll be in the rabbit hole tonight too. I just wanted to make sure I sit and talk to you because we talk about the world, but I kind of wanted to talk about Minnie for a second.
Club,
I want my audience to feel you. This will be on YouTube and other streaming platforms as well. Right. But because I feel like you're so dope, and like I said, I'm grateful that I got to know you outside of the artistry. Like I talk to you every night at 11, every night. Right. You know what I'm saying? We've been doing it for the past few years, just sharing knowledge and then getting to know who you really were outside of the conscious. I'm like, oh shit. And I do radio. Why I didn't Ben ask you to do this interview? But I guess I didn't feel like anything was missing because I get to talk to you and I get to express that. So I'm grateful to even know you.
Another thing that I learned from the kind of men that I came up under later on in life. Say you were to connect, right? And this is something I learned from the street. Like, I've had money for jewelry a million times. I don't like jewelry. I think that jewelry is some real negative shit for the way it makes men's minds work against you. Granted, you can't even wear new clothes every day. Niggas is mad at you, right? But something that I learned is if you're the guy, let your character speak volumes. Don't push a car in front of what you are. Don't push jewelry in front of what you are. Like, all right, I do beats, right? I go through shit every day people go through. You know what I'm saying? I got family members. I got I got family members that go through shit. I got family members that took the jab. I got, just regular life, real nigga shit. And at the end of the day, there's no honor and benefit of being braggadocious to me. To be like, I'm not the nigga standing on the couch with showing his Gucci belt. Like, I'm not a walking advertisement. So it's just like,
but none of this.
Be yourself.
And they invest in our demise.
That's a good way to look at it. When you're unemployed and you buy an $80,000 car, you just told on yourself. You get what I'm saying? So it's just like, be quiet. Be quiet. And that's not for everybody. Some people is naturally loud, but we do a lot of shit that brings the detriment. I brought the detriment on myself. So now that I'm at this point in life where I'm like, yo, I never want to be a fucking drug dealer again unless I could do it legal. When they legalize certain shit, I'll fuck with it. I'm not doing nothing illegal. That's over. Illegal puts you in a place, and I know this sounds crazy coming from a quote unquote producer, but you know what I'm saying? It's just like I finally get it. When the shit you do can affect the people around you. You die, you leave your daughters, your sons behind, nothing but the fucking 80,000 you had in the safe at one time. It's just, nothing is worth your life. Nothing is worth especially when you start creating people.
Your legacy, nothing is worth your legacy.
I'm a greedy nigga. I like to make some money. I won't step on your feet, but I like me some money. You know what I'm saying? That's right. It's called growth. That's right, Shay. You know what I'm saying? So that's my cousin, PK every day. What up, Dre? You know what I'm saying?
Cuzzo.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So
I gotta take a look at this. Cause my blind ass, then like I said, I don't be wanting to touch stuff because I done had accidents. So I mean, if I catch it, I catch it.
Yeah, I don't want Shay to fight. You know, we on the live and motherfuckers said some things I ain't even saying when we was on there. You know, but you know what? To be Cha no. So that was wrong. What y'all said earlier. She's down the rabbit hole. Like she's gone. Like I'm gone.
What they said? Tell me.
I guess they thought you didn't know. You know, I'm not talking about.
Oh no, I know. Trust me, I understand. Go check my profile. You'll see. I be doing I be teaching too. I be putting people to I be reading articles and everything.
She Trinity. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like that's why I appreciate the way I know you. I'm about to call you Hocus Minnie, because you know it's almost 2 years and we've been down a rabbit hole consecutively, faithfully. You know what I'm saying? And watching it grow and the information being shared on a daily basis, well, nightly basis, and then you know I didn't know. I mean, I knew who you were, but I didn't know in depth, like having to do my research and everything like that. And I'm like, wow, you know what I'm saying? Because usually people in the industry, they don't talk like this. You have a lot of puppets out there who are even scared to take a stand because they feel like it's going to mess with their career.
Without going into names, and over these past 25 years, all these niggas be stealing my shit. It's ridiculous. Like, and that's why people be like, yo, I want to take meetings and I play you it. You like it, you pick it. I'm not leaving no nigga with like everybody's like, yo, put your beats online and you could sell. I know I could get extra rich overnight, right? But I don't want to. What happens with me is I put the energy out and all the producers steal. You know,
but I mean, you don't like because I read somewhere when you was like comparing the digging in the crates with what you would do to like the up and coming producers, how they go like surfing for downloads or whatever. I don't know what they call it, but something like that. But wouldn't that work for someone like you? Like you'll have another DJ or another producer digging through the downloads, I guess, looking for your work to sample or whatever.
I'm not. YouTube is a bad motherfucker. I would just say that because it's you see the same way we're micro detectives against conspiracy when we go on Clubhouse. Producers are micro detectives of digging online. The dig is crazy because you got people from all over putting up their music. Like I could go Google Turkish funk. And I'm finding Turkish funk from the 70s that nobody's even think. I shouldn't even have said that. I'm sorry. You're right. I should shut up. But you know, you can find the craziest shit from all over the world. Dre, what up, man? That's my cousin, man. That's one of my favorite cousins there, man.
Yeah. Well, shout out to everybody in the chat, though. Shout out y'all the real MVPs vibing with us tonight. Yeah, I'm enjoying them. So I'm not reading all of it, but I'm more concerned with the conversation. But yeah, but we're gonna wrap this thing up because I know I had you so long. But before we go, what's next?
What's next? Me putting out projects, and I would say before I go to work with anybody. Most Def and Jadakiss got first dibs because I've been fucking with them. When y'all hear the joints I did for the Locks, niggas is gonna know like it's so nasty and stinky New York. Like New York, they got that shit right now. They got oh my God, like
you put that stank on it.
I put that stink on it, and it's not like radio hits. It's like in your car vibing, riding around. I don't want to hurt anybody today. Shit.
Yes.
Word. That's all I can say.
Bring us back to what New York really sound like.
What New York sound like.
Yes, the real sound, the real sound. You know, I want to take this moment to thank you so much, Minnie, for pulling up to Live at Radio and having this discussion with me and sharing so many gems. You drop so many, as you do all the time. But, you know, being that you on my platform, Live at Radio, I had to take notice and salute you, give you your flowers and all that good shit. And I appreciate you. So you want to put out me music and all this to everybody if they live in Underbrook, where they can find you.
Yeah, MB. Somebody said MB. C Shines. That's my man, C Shine. MVP in the lot. So let me tell you something. When that happens, C Shine, that's gonna be a thing. But yeah, I fuck with them. Oh man.
Oh shit. Exactly why I'm hitting you tomorrow, Scrap. Salute. What's up, Harlem? His shit is fucking in rotation. He probably got a phone call or something. Somebody probably tried to call. Up, he shot down. Oh, what's up, Harlem? What's up, Green Bay? Soul Graces, Cricket Club. Exactly why. Why Stress? PK. Salute to the fam. Yeah, what's up? Chili Cold Nature. Oh, that's the homie. Yes. Rush Awareness. I don't want to touch no more buttons because I'm scared. But yeah, thank you all for tuning in for another dope motivational Monday interview with Live at Radio. We had the iconic, legendary producer, Minnesota Money Boss Players, and it was dope. I think he's trying to come back. Hold up. Yep. There you go. I think I gotta hit it from here. Oh, okay, there you go.
Oh, nah, that's bum ass Android shit.
I'm about to say, goddamn, you didn't even say much.
My daughter's in here now. Oh, Cozy Corner OG, what up? JBS, that's my management right there. JBS Management, my man Shotty.
Yes. He's working. He out here working, out here grinding, out here showing love too. I was just wrapping it up, Minnie. Do you have any final words or anything like that you want to share with the public? Any words of encouragement since you're all about the light now?
Once Upon a Handshake, available on all streaming platforms. And if you like that, that's Play. And that's that. I'm putting that talk on there too. So, you know, just before we end, short story. When I was a little boy and I was on a baseball team, Big Pun's uncle, Wimpy, ran the baseball team for the kids, right? And Melly Mel and them had put a record out called The Message. And when I listened to
and it's hitting its 40th anniversary this year.
Yeah. And when I heard that record, that day when I went home, I was on 161st Street by the McDonald's because we was all on the baseball team. When I went home, I never looked at my neighborhood the same. He taught me that it's fucked up where we live. Like shit that's normal. Everything he said was going on in the community. And I want to say to other artists or anybody that does get to hear this, or any hustlers or whatever you're doing as an adult man or any gangbangers, that the children are always watching you. So watch what you show the children or watch what you're saying around the children. You know what I'm saying? So it's important for us to get back to a place where niggas is rhyming about other kind of things, you know, even in the playing field, talking about family, a family event, or, you know, Big Mama or grandpa who's not here no more. Just talk about life and make it fun. And, you know, because niggas took the fun out of the music, you know.
And I don't remember the last time I heard a Dear Mama song. Remember we was getting mama songs like every month? Now you don't hear that shit at all. It's Dear Bitch.
Somebody asked, the album, it's available on all streaming platforms. It's called Once Upon a Handshake. And I had to change my name from Minnesota to Minnesota Money Boss. Because apparently there's a young kid. I mean, and I probably could take him to court and do all that shit, but I'm not even thinking like that. But it's a young kid.
Your digital fingerprint. As long as you can prove, because everything you post is timestamped.
Right. So, unless he comes at me ever for being Minnesota the producer, I would never come at him because then I would take him to court and destroy him because I've been Minnesota the producer since '92.
Yes.
You know, but there's a young kid who owns the name Minnesota, so I had to change my name to Minnesota Money Boss, which I don't mind because that's to the vein.
Yeah.
You know.
And I like it, Minnesota. I like it, Minnie, you know, and I appreciate you. And with that being said, I think that concludes our interview. You know, shout out to you. This is just me giving you your flowers and recognizing that I see you. I see you. I see you beyond, and you are intricate in my life this whole time because the music that you produced was the soundtrack to my life. And I knew you before I knew you, you know, and I appreciate you in the industry.
Hey, Shay, I'm going to write a book. I got to write a book. I've been through too much shit. Somebody said I thought it was a book. It's an album. You know what I'm saying? Tariq's on it, and my Money Boss crew is on it, you know? But it's an album, you know? It's just some real hip-hop shit. It was like a hobby, like, my man Shotty was just like, yo, I'm throwing this out. So Sidewalk Executive is coming. Sidewalk Executive is going to be, I'm going to play around with the radio songs on that one. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Word.
Yeah, that's right.
You making me want to rhyme just so you can produce my shit.
Nigga, to shoot from the hip.
I'm doing like I got bars. I'm not a rapper, but my flow is unforgettable, though. What?
Listen, Cha-Cha, let me tell you something, right? You know, there's something that happened in rap that was bad, and I'm glad certain people even the playing field, like Nas and Kanye and Jay. And it's like, as you're older, right, you shouldn't make music. And let me tell you something, right? What the fuck can a 19-year-old tell you about street life or how to get around it and make it sound clever and fun? What can a 24-year-old tell you about the streets in reference to outthinking the maze and getting out of it? So if I want to give my money to a purchase or a download or a stream or an album or a cassette or a vinyl or whatever the fuck it is, you got to be saying some shit or that shit got to feel good. Mm-hmm. If niggas ain't making feel good music now, I can predict what a nigga's gonna say. He fuck bitches, my diamonds is big. Like outside of that, Ice-T, a lyrical mentor to me. Ice-T told me, and I never knew this, he said, damn, man, we hung out with Ice-T years ago. Ice-T said, yo, you got game when you rhyme. And I was like, yo, what you talking about? He was like, you got the game. He said, that's what it is. He said, when you talking this street shit, there's only a few dimensions to it. It's only like 3 to 5 dimensions. He said, but it's the way you present it. You're presenting the same old scenario. You're regurgitating the same old scenario in a better way than the last 5 niggas did. So that's, you know what I'm saying? So that's the thing. So how can I, listen, besides us liberating people's minds, we got to liberate the street people too. We got to make being smart acceptable because that's why
you be seeing me in those particular groups. I'm not going to shout them out right now, but I be in there on purpose, right. And I be doing all kind of tactics to let them know like this shit ain't it, yo.
I fuck with Bullet Scotty. He got that's my man. Bullets be having all the goons in his room.
Him and Trolls Nation. Confidential. Those are the main ones.
I go in there and I be quiet sometime and I be cracking up and I be listening and the niggas be like, pull up. Well, you pull up there, nigga. Where you at? And niggas is really ready to fire on niggas they don't even know.
No, like going hard and not realizing you on a fucking public app. Like, y'all snitching on yourselves. Right. And that's not even, and it's so cliche, it's so normalized that every time you hear that shit, it's cliche now. Like, when are y'all gonna understand? You're saying here, I'm that real nigga. Like, we had a whole nigga talk about how he was a coke dealer. And I'm like, nigga, you saying that shit on Clubhouse.
It's okay if it's past the statute of limitations to give up your story.
So that shit wasn't past 10.
It wasn't past a day. And you up there talking about what you do. But that's the new thing. Snitch on yourself. Like, niggas don't... Like, my thing is this, right? At least go to FBI.gov and read the laws.
Right.
at least to understand this shit I'm gonna put in the book, this shit I'm gonna say, but it's past tense. And the shit you can't talk about won't be spoke about. You get what I'm saying? So it's that.
Yeah, I just try to share my perspective to try to encourage or inspire somebody that this life is bigger than that. You know what I'm saying? And honestly, like, it be sounding so little. And I'm like, I know you better than that. I know you better than that. I be seeing.
You know what, Shata? The thing about humanity and life is this. Nobody really wants to die anonymous. Everybody's still searching for King Tut legendary status, you know?
But that ain't it, though. Like, what about that lifestyle makes them think that shit is it?
But it's the quick way to die anonymous. But nobody wants to die anonymous, you know? Everybody's screaming like, look, I'm here. I'm somebody. And the way to do that now is violence for the sake of violence. How many niggas you shot? So
it's like a retarded Me Too movement. Me too. Me too. Look at me too.
Right. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, that's it, man, for the most part. That's it, Cha-Cha. But yeah, that's what it is, y'all. So anytime, Cha-Cha, whenever you want to get back on the app, let's go, you know?
Yes, let's do it. Yes. And I totally appreciate you, Minnie, and I salute you, yo. Thank you for everything.
No doubt, home team. All right, I'm going to try and save the live. Once you save it, send it to me, and I'll post it in my stories, all right?
Okay, I'm going to do that. I'm going to just give my final words, my final thoughts, and tell everybody to subscribe to my channel. But I thank you for pulling up, and I'm going to see you in a few moments on Down the Rabbit Hole.
Okay, cool. I got some, for everybody that's not on Clubhouse, come to Clubhouse, Hocus for a Fifth, so you can hear the other side of the shit, because how can I say it? I found the cure.
Oh, you know, all kinds of disclaimers got to be done said. All kinds of disclaimers.
No. I just said it can be
It
could be the cure for roaches in your cabinet. So I need about an hour to sharpen my mind back up on it. So for everybody that went through that and did that, I found it.
Okay. So I want to hear it.
Okay. All right, child.
All right. See you later. Right. Salute, Minnie.
Peace.
Is he gonna do it or I'm gonna do it? I think he did it. Yes! Another dope episode, another dope interview in the books. Yes. I want to shout out to everybody who tuned in tonight. And if you're watching this on YouTube, please hit that subscribe button, hit the like button. And even if you didn't like it, hit that shit too. And tell me why you hating though. Tell me why you hating though. Yes. I want to shout out to everybody. This was the first episode of 2022, and I had to start it off with such an icon and legendary person as Minnesota Money Boss Players. Yes, please go hit his link tree so you can listen to all the music that he produced throughout the years from your favorite iconic artists. I mean, even if you are new to him right now, I guarantee you, your playlist have a lot of songs that he produced and you may not even know. Yes. So shout out to all of you guys. Shout out to him for pulling up to Live at Radio for another dope interview. And I don't think there's nothing left to be said. You know, one thing about Minnie, and I think he will make a great teacher. He's a great leader, you know, and I really feel like he would do well with teenagers. I could see him teaching the new leaders of the new school. All pun intended. Even that was a pun too. You got it? Anyway, yes. Shout out to all of you guys. Thank you for another dope. Oh, and if you're on my other streaming services, please like and share the link so everybody can hear this as well. And I think that's it. You know, knowledge is power. Every day, doesn't matter how old you are, take a moment in time to learn something new. Take a moment in time to learn something extraordinary. And once you learn those things, pass that shit on. Because how we ever going to get up out of this motherfucker sane and better than what we were yesterday if we don't pass that knowledge? Knowledge is free. Do your due diligence and we will get there. I know we are. Shout out to everybody waking up. You know, even though you was a little asleep, we had to hit you upside your head a few times, but you here now. Better late than never. I'm watching you, but better late than never. Yes. And with that being said, have a good night. See you guys next time. Be safe out there.